Thank you, Philippa, for the opportunity that you have provided the Railroad Association. The Railroad Association is a representative of original equipment manufacturers, manufacturers of rail components, rail operators, private and public. We also represent the companies that are in the rail services and maintenance space in the associated industries. Our mission as an organization and an industry body is to ensure that rail is positioned as a key economic driver for growth and integration of the continent. Our vision is to have a world-class rail infrastructure that crisscrosses the continent to facilitate and increase intra-Africa trade. We have a market of 1.2 billion and the opportunities on the continent are endless. Our goal as an industry body lies on three areas: the revitalization of the rail sector, the transformation of the rail sector, plus advocacy for the rail sector. The revitalization of the sector will be key in ensuring that the economic growth that we want to see or the revival of the economy will largely depend on rail. From the manufacturing, from the supply base, from integrating the continent and any other opportunities that are available on the continent. South Africa being positioned as a champion for rolling stock manufacturing is strategically based to ensure that we are able to supply rolling stock on the continent, but it's not only limited to that. We are able to revitalize the sector through services, through skills, through standards, and sharing those standards with the continent, the standards that are fit for our purpose. In terms of transformation, it's a complete change of the status quo. It means that we need to have an environment which is completely different, that enables a new entrance into the market, ensure that the barriers of entry are lowered, either through standards or transformation agenda that in place that have been introduced by the government, and also aligning our vision as a country to the continent. Based on our long history as a country, having operated in the rail sector for over 100 years, we are going to be important in terms of providing the vision and to drive the rail sector on the continent. It is important that we place ourselves as a country that will be sharing our skills, our technologies with the rest of the continent, and also to ensure that we are not disconnected in terms of either the gauge, the safety standards, but in order for us to achieve the vision of an integrated Africa, a world-class infrastructure, we need to have an alignment in terms of our vision as a country, but in line with the continent as well. We also advocate for a few legislation which I will go into, but the idea is to promote, change, or eradicate some of the legislation or policies that may not be in the best interest of the rail sector, or policies that actually would be critical in terms of enhancing, maybe promoting foreign direct investment into the country and looking at the continent, which is also influenced by the opportunities that are presented by the continent. And the policy that we are advocating for is the ratification of the Luxembourg Rail Protocol to the Cape Town Convention, including open access into the network. The revitalization of rail cannot be done by governments only. We need to work together, private sector, public sector, to ensure the speedy integration of the continent and to ensure that we are able to deliver on the mandate that is facilitated through the CFTA. And how do we plan to achieve our goals? We plan to collaborate with our stakeholders. Collaboration that we look for is to partner with important stakeholders that includes government departments, that includes the African Union, NEPAD, but in this particular case, is the collaboration that we seek to have with the Railway Safety Regulator, which we have already, in terms of us being an export council, a formal relationship with the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition. And we also plan to achieve our goals through having a sustainable industry. Now, sustainability hinges on several factors. Those factors including reindustrialization, ensuring that there's local supply to manufacture, maintenance, and also to support the railway industry. And it's also going to be key that we are able to introduce new players into the market, ensure that there's transformation policies in terms of introducing new players by ensuring that some of the standards that may be applicable to big operators may not necessarily be applicable to smaller operators, as a way and means of supporting them and introducing them to the industry. Some partnerships that we have are regulated by legislation. Railway Safety Regulator, governed by the National Railway Safety Regulator Act under Section 7B2, provides that the regulator may appoint an association that will assist the regulator in developing industry standards and any other matter that the regulator deemed necessary. Now, the partnership is important. A regulator cannot regulate an environment where there's other partners that are not part of the regulation. In some industries, I'm responsible for your safety and the next person is responsible for my safety. In order for us as an industry to provide a safe rail system, we need to work together to ensure that standards are complied with, standards that make sense, standards that are practical. A regulator is there to regulate the industry, but they cannot police everybody. So we need to make sure that through our collaboration, we are able to achieve that. All these objectives and the goals have one thing in mind: to stimulate investment, to create certainty. The certainty then will mean that your foreign direct investor will know that their investment is safe in the country because they are aware of the regulations that are in place. So as a railroad association, we're reaching out to government. Government has responded in a form of railway safety regulator. We will be an in-between and important stakeholders that will be able to be a mouthpiece, facilitate a conversation between the regulator and the private sector. Let's grow the railway industry together. One industry, one voice, one association.